Okay, hello and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Dream Homes. Today we are going to La Jolla, California, and we're going to stop right here. So back up just for a little geography lesson, just so you get some perspective. So here we are in the western United States, state of California right here, outline like that. You know, here's your Arizona and your Nevada. All right, so and this is, by the way, this is Mexico, everything below here, and this is the Baja Peninsula. So let's get in closer, and you'll see that La Jolla is basically, you know, it's like a suburb, if you will, of San Diego. And San Diego sits right on the Mexican border, and just to the south is the city of Tijuana. So let's get in closer and see what we can figure out here. So here's the San Diego Harbor right here. San Diego's a naval town. It's one of the largest naval ports in the world. And as you get closer and you look at the harbor, this is the naval base right here. And this is a Naval Air Station, North Island Naval Air Station on the island of Coronado. City of Coronado. I don't know if they really call it the island. Here's the Coronado Bridge that crosses the harbor. And here's the San Diego Airport. This is Point Loma. La Jolla is up here just north of Pacific Beach. So here's La Jolla. And La Jolla starts just south of the community of Del Mar. Right at that highway, I believe, is the boundary line for La Jolla, and it extends all the way south, all the way around this point right here, and ends right about here, and this is Pacific Beach. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to show you here. There's a couple of tourism sites. One is LaJollaByTheSea.com, and I think this one's run by the Merchants Association. And then this other one over here is LaJolla.com, and they're both good websites, so take it for what it's worth. I can't really recommend one over the other, but certainly they will provide you with all kinds of information. For example, if you go to things to do shopping in La Jolla is known for its totally upscale shopping. So they have a lot of boutiques, a lot of very famous brand names that you will recognize. So it says, grab your purse and some good walking shoes, from original vintage apparel to high-end urban furnishings for your home. You'll love all the hidden treasures La Jolla shops hold, not to mention the stunning La Jolla Cove or ocean view. We'll get to that in a minute. There are almost too many stores to name, so let's break it down by area. And so they say that Girard Avenue, Prospect Street, located next to the beach in downtown La Jolla, and this area is known for its unique mix of unique boutique shops, mall stores, and higher-end establishments like Cartier. You can window shop for fun. The cute storefronts and picturesque sidewalks make for a lovely stroll, or dive right in to purchase your treasures. Love the people who wrote this. And then there's Westfield UTC. UTC stands for University Town Center. It's a big outdoor shopping mall. So, that's the norm in San Diego. The weather's so good, you don't have enclosed malls. Everybody shops outdoors like this. The entire mall has recently undergone a complete renovation, is now more luxe than ever. You'll find high-end department stores like a two-story Nordstrom's, Tiffany and Company, Zara, Michael Kors, and Anthropologie. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing, and Abercrombie and Fitch. So, yeah, if you like to shop, La Jolla is one of those places, definitely high-end. Now, when we go to the Wikipedia page, you're going to see that, so they talk a little bit here about La Jolla, and I wanted to highlight a couple things like La Jolla is home to the University of California, San Diego, and it's also home to the Salk Institute, Scripps Institution of Oceanography, and Scripps Research Institute. I find it amusing when I look at Wikipedia. I always find something that I completely think is totally fabricated, or you have to be careful. You can't take Wikipedia for its word all the time. For example, now this is a good view of the La Jolla downtown area right here. La Jolla had the highest home prices in the nation in 2008 and 2009, according to a survey by Caldwell Banker. The survey compares the cost of blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I thought, no, that doesn't sound right. I don't think, I mean, I think there's a lot more expensive communities, but let's check it out. So I go to Caldwell Banker right here. This is now granted this is for 2015, and does La Jolla rank in the top one, two, or three? Well, let's go down here. No, Newport Beach, California. Okay, that's basically L.A. And then the rest of these are all Silicon Valley: Palo Alto, Saratoga, Cupertino, Los Gatos, Arcadia, San Mateo, Sunnyvale. Yeah, I'm not seeing La Jolla, but maybe it's further down the list here. San Francisco, Honolulu, Hawaii. Not seeing La Jolla. Boulder, Colorado, at number 27. Gonna have to do a show about that soon. Yeah, Irvine, Texas, blah, 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 blah. Encinitas, Sonoma. What's up in the Bay Area? Let's keep going. Maybe we'll see La Jolla. Dot, 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 dot. Well, what's going on here? Napa, California, also up in the Bay Area, north of the Bay Area. And we get to 100, and La Jolla is not even in the top 100 for most expensive places to live. So I guess my caution is, and I try to caution our viewers all the time, you can't take this kind of thing as cold hard fact. Now, they did protect themselves by saying they had the highest prices in the nation in 2008 and 2009. Well, that might have been the case, but who the hell cares? I mean, why not say La Jolla had the highest home prices in the nation in 1854? That's not relevant to today. So it's sort of puffery. You're trying to build up, I don't know, high home prices is nothing to brag about, but it seems to me you're trying to build up La Jolla for something that it's not. It is definitely higher end as far as shopping goes and restaurants goes and stuff like that. And the cost of real estate is not cheap. As a matter of fact, I looked it up. The median home price in La Jolla is $1,765,000. So it is definitely an expensive place to live, no doubt about it. It's also home to the Salk Institute for Biological Studies, and I got my notes here to save a little time. So, Salk Institute for Biological Studies is an independent nonprofit scientific research institute located in La Jolla. It was founded in 1960 by Jonas Salk, the developer of the polio vaccine. Wanted to tell you other things. So then they say the institute employs 850 researchers and 60 research groups and focuses in three areas: molecular biology, genetics, neurosciences, and plant biology. Now, wait a minute. They just said three, and they just gave us four. Okay, somebody needs to do some editing there. All right, so, but that's what. Now, the Salk Institute is world famous. It is home to a lot of Nobel Laureates, and you may recognize some of these names. These are, these people won the Nobel Prize in a lot of different areas of science. And it kind of reminds me, I used to live in San Diego, and I one time, I was younger at the time, I was 25 years old, and I on a lark, I went to the Salk Institute to apply for a job. And, I remember meeting with a high caretaker or manager of the Institute. And, he's looking at my resume, he's going, Paul Martin, eh? And says here you attended University of Portland and the University of Oregon, and then you dropped out, and most of your experience is in retail Retail sales, the retail sales sectors. Well, I have to admire you for your bravado, and I kind of like your spirit and the cut of your jib. So we could probably find something here for you. You know what? But there's just one thing that might stand in the way. Yeah, we don't hire morons. Yeah, so what you need to do is go back to the Midwest, go to your local Burger King and start flipping burgers because we don't hire stupid people here. Actually, that didn't happen, but that's probably what would happen if I would go to the Salk Institute. They're extremely brilliant people that work there. They don't even hire anybody with an IQ, I don't think, under 155. You know, they're not only they're genius, they're high genius people. So you're talking about high, super high level IQ people that are going to be working there. Then there's the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. That's part of Cal San Diego, and they study marine life and they study for the environment. It's the largest and oldest center for ocean and earth sciences and research, and it also their mission statement is to seek, teach, and communicate scientific understanding of the oceans, atmosphere, Earth, and other planets for the benefit of society and the environment. So another world famous institute in La Jolla, okay? And then there's the Scripps Research Institute. And again, we're talking, they don't allow any dummies in here. So they're totally into cancer biology, cell and molecular biology, chemical biology, neuroscience, immunology, and these are some extremely notable people like you see here, and maybe you recognize some names. Interestingly, the character of Chewie was named after one of the scientists here at the Scripps Research, and that was Chi Hui Wong. Chi Hui. Chi Hui. Actually, that's not true. So another thing that's worth seeing is there's a lot to do in La Jolla, and there's an absolute ton to do in San Diego. So if we zoom in here, so here's the downtown area of La Jolla. Okay, these are where all the shops are. If you go down to this, and I've done this, took my kids and some of their friends down. This is the La Jolla Cove right here, and see all these specks right here? What is that? Let's zoom in closer and see if we can figure out. Oh yeah, they're sea lions, and like tons of sea lions. So what you can do is you can walk down this street or this street. Beautiful park right here. Rocky, it's not, I wouldn't really call it a beach area. There's some beach, but rocky cliffs, and not high cliffs. And then there's a stairway where you can walk down. Okay, and I've got a video right here of La Jolla Cove, and so many sea lions. They just ask that you not touch the sea lions, don't pet them, because you can get bitten, and they want to be left alone. And they just camp out here and they sleep. But you can do this. You can walk along here, you can come down these stairs, and you can walk amongst the sea lions. And they're all over the place, little cute, absolutely cute and adorable. And you can shoot video. I did that with my kids, and my kids absolutely loved it. It doesn't cost you anything. This is free to walk down here, and it's a regular gathering spot for the sea lions. So it's a cool thing, La Jolla Cove. Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you, and I don't know, I find it fascinating. It's not La Jolla, it's more San Diego, okay? So let's assume you're going to fly into San Diego. So here's the harbor, okay? This is the airport, and San Diego Airport is one of the busiest one-runway airports in the world. It's in the top 5 which is absolutely insane. And they've been talking about moving the airport or building a new airport for over 40 years now, and they've never done it. And this is, don't confuse this, this is the Naval Air Station out here. But I wanted to show you a couple things about this airport that make it also, shall we say, one of the most interesting airports to land at. So let's take a look at the length of this runway. And this is, you can't possibly use all this runway, and you'll see why in here in a little bit. But from one side to the other, it's it's about 1.5 miles, okay? Which is nothing. For those of you who want it in kilometers, it's about 2.6 kilometers, okay? But in reality, you're not going to be afforded all that runway, and I'll show you why. Let's zoom in closer. Now here you have the 5, and that's the way they say it in California. They don't say Interstate 5 or Highway 5. It's the 5. So they have the 5, the 805, the 15. Those are the names of the highways. So what you can't appreciate here is, believe it or not, this is like Balboa Park, and this is a high hill, and it's slowly coming down, and this is a good 300 feet, if not more, higher than this runway. This runway's at sea level, and you got to come over this, and you got to land here. Now, here's what's especially interesting about this. So it's bad enough you're coming over all this terrain, and then you have to drop down quickly. But who on earth approved this? And what is this? Well, let's zoom in closer. You have a parking structure here. Oh yeah? Well, what's unique about that? Let's get down closer on the ground and find out. Okay, so here we have one parking structure, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 stories tall, okay? Then across the street, and remember, we're right at the edge of the runway here, you have a 5-story parking structure. Okay, now the airport's right over there, but let me give you a better view of this. Okay, so now we're on the 5, and we are looking towards the north. And where's our runway? Well, can't see it there. The trees are sort of in the way. Let's move a little bit closer. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So there's our parking garage. There's our 5-store parking garage. And let's turn around, and you can see, this is what I'm talking about. That's a good 300 feet up. And the final approach comes from about 10 miles out. And then the pilots have to swoop down in the last half mile and to land on the runway. And it is pretty amazing. So okay, so there's our 5-star parking garage. Let's just zoom in and see what we see. Oh yes, right there, that's the runway. Now my question is, who would approve putting such a large building at the end of a runway? It makes absolutely no sense, but that's the reality. Because look, let's back up just a little bit here, and we're gonna go, there's our garage, bingo, and there's our runway. What's the distance from the garage, the top of the garage, to the runway? Is, by the closest measurement, 0.21 kilometers. Let's express in meters. It's about a little over 200 meters, or about 700 feet, or 230 yards. It's about 2 American football fields to that. Insane. Who does that? And why hasn't San Diego torn these stupid things down? It's bad. I mean, it's crazy. That shouldn't even be there. It shouldn't be legal by any means. But it's been that way for years. So that's why they can't hit this end of the runway. When they land, they're aiming for this spot, but they're typically hitting right about here. So they no longer have a full runway. So they've got a little over a mile. They've got a little over a mile of runway left, and you don't have time to make decisions that quickly. So it is a dangerous airport to land in, sort of. And here's another video I want to show you here. Somebody took this video, so here you are, and it looks like landing in a normal city. There's the Coronado Bridge. That's the naval shipping yard. Tons of naval ships out there. Here you have the 15. This will take you up to Escondido and up to beyond that to Temecula. And if you keep going far enough, it'll take you up to Las Vegas. So here we are. And now this is 94, which is will take you up to La Mesa. And now you're starting to see the appearance of some buildings here. This is, if you're going to land, you want excitement, sit on the left side of the plane when you land in San Diego. This is what you're going to see. And you're going, wow, we're getting kind of low, and those buildings are almost as tall as I am. Now here's the 5. It's going to make a sharp, radical turn to the west here, and we're going to go over 2 more times, believe it or not. Wow, look at those buildings. We're flying right into the buildings. Here's the 5 again. It made that turn. It's going to make one more turn. We're going to go over one more time. We're getting low. Are we going to hit? Here comes the 5 again. Holy cow, we're coming down on top of this highway. Where does this end? Now we're going over our parking garage. Now he's got to drop. He or she, the pilot. You got to drop fast. Oh my gosh. At least we're not over buildings. We're in the runway. But when are we going to land? Where's the land, for crying out loud? And you drop hard and fast, and boom, you just landed in San Diego. So it's exciting. Let me tell you, sit on the left side when you land in San Diego. All right, so the moment you've been waiting for, it's about time to take some virtual tours of some beautiful fantasy dream homes. Today's website of choice is going to be Zillow for real estate. Zillow is a good real estate site, and this first fantasy dream home we're going to take a tour of is going for $6 million approximately. 3 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 3,684 square feet. It is, of course, located in La Jolla, California. These are all going to be oceans properties with small lot sizes. It's almost not even worth talking about. I'll try to list that into the show notes, the size of the lot. This was built in 2010. So let's take a look at this first fantasy dream home. Okay, so our second fantasy dream home is going for approximately $7 million, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 4,255 square feet. It was built in 2005 in La Jolla, California. Let's take a look at this second fantasy dream home. Our third fantasy dream home was jumping up a little bit of the price, and you can see by this just the views. Now you're right on the cliff's edge here in La Jolla. We're going for 17.8 million, 5 bedrooms, 8 baths. We're getting larger at 10,700 square feet. It's a shame they don't mention the architect's name, but they don't in this description. We would like to credit architects more often here on Fantasy Dream Homes, but they don't tell us. But I think you're going to admire it. So let's take a look at our third Fantasy Dream Home. Okay, so I just wanted to point out a couple of things that this is the difference that an architect makes in a when you hire an architect to build a house. Notice the recessed lighting. A typical building contractor is not going to be able to do this. Well, they can, but they're not even going to suggest it. The different details, a wider door. That's it could be a photograph image, but that looks wider than a 36-inch door, and it's got different wood inlays, so it's not a typical door. Architect will do those things for you. Look at this absolutely beautiful ceiling. You're not going to have a home contractor do anything like this. The curved windows and the glass that meets it's seamless. It has a seam, but it meets in the middle there, and that's something an architect will do. The different lighting, the sconces that are on the wall, and you could also when you're in this price point, not only should you hire an architect, you should hire an interior designer, and you should hire a lighting designer. And lighting designers can pick out all kinds of cool things. Look at this wood paneling in the ceiling. That's something an architect's going to do for you. The archways everywhere. It's just absolutely beautiful architecture. Look at this. This is stunning. So this is a case for why you have to hire an architect, especially when you're in the multi-million-dollar price point that we find fantasy dream homes. Okay, our fourth fantasy dream home. It's going for 18.5 million. It's on the cliff's edge in La Jolla. 5 bedrooms, 7 baths, 8,627 square feet. Designed by Ken Ronchetti. So I found this web page, the Friends of San Diego Architecture, and they talk about his work because apparently he's sort of prolific in Southern California. Distinctive features in Ronchetti's residential designs include sliding wall systems, outdoor fireplaces, and fabric walls. Many of his buildings have curved sculptural lines, high-performance glass, metal roofing materials, and protected courtyard concept. He integrates active and passive solar heating systems into his designs, as well as other sustainable architectural features. Here are some pictures of Ken Ronchetti's work, and I would call this spectacular. Look at this home right here. This is absolutely amazing, and seems to be indicative of all his work. It's all really, really beautiful architecture. He also has a book for sale. See, I like to give architects credit. Book for sale on Amazon that was published in 1997 for $14.92. So if you want it, you could search for Ken Ronchetti on Amazon, and boom, you've got yourself a book here. If I remember, I will put a link to this in the show notes. So let's take a look at this fourth fantasy dream home. Okay, and I just want to make a comment here. So for an $18.5 million home, I have to say this meets the standards because there's just so much here that you're not going to see in a typical home. This outdoor, absolutely gorgeous seating area. Keep going. These huge doors where you can close yourself off from the weather. Infinity pool, and oh, by the way, that's a paraglider up there. They launch from Torrey Pines, which is very close by, so you're going to probably see that a lot. Those people flying by. There's a little runoff board up there. Outdoor shower here. Look at that, and there's glass right here. It's not outdoor. It's actually indoor, but it looks outdoor, doesn't it? This glass is stunning, just beautiful. And if I'm going to have a master bedroom on an $18.5 million home, I want that. And look at how the photographer caught the sun just as it's going to go down there on the, because we're looking to the west. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful bedroom. So you got this gorgeous, huge fireplace. I love that. And you're saying, well, San Diego, why would you have a fireplace? And I love this great big kitchen bar area. Why would you have a fireplace? Because don't forget, San Diego is actually considered a desert environment. And in the desert, it gets chilly at night. The temperature will drop sometimes 20 degrees and even 25 degrees. And for Californians, that can be absolutely shocking. They're putting on their coats when the temperature drops like that. So you better have fireplaces around for that kind of weather. And, high on a cliff edge, I'm not crazy about that, but how are you going to get those stunning views? So anyway, let's get on to our next fantasy dream home. Okay, so our fifth and final fantasy dream home in La Jolla, California is going for 24.8 million, 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms. This is the biggest one yet at 12,000 square feet. This home was built by architect Bill Heyer, or Hayer. I apologize if I'm not saying it correctly. I suppose it's supposed to be Hayer. And he does have a website. And so good for you, Bill. We always like to, and we click in to look at some of at Bill's work. You're going to see another, amazing architect. And he's located, or his office is located out of Del Mar, just north of La Jolla. And when we do an image search of his work, we see that he does some pretty amazing work himself. So let's take a look at this fifth and final fantasy dream home, built in 2004. Okay, that wraps up another episode of Fantasy Dream Homes. We'd like to thank you so much for watching. If you like the program, we'd like to sincerely invite you to become part of our YouTube channel and the Fantasy Dream Home community by clicking that subscribe button. Also, please hit the like symbol, share the video with your family and friends, and please leave your comments. We're always looking for ways to improve Fantasy Dream Homes, and that's why your feedback is so important. Also, take a minute to check out our other social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And speaking of Pinterest page, we'd love you to follow us over on Pinterest. Check out the page because we put a lot of time into that. And if you like looking at luxury homes and great room design ideas, then head over to pinterest.com/fantasydreamhomes and follow us there. We invite you to take a look at our Patreon page. You can see what our goals are, where we plan to go for Fantasy Dream Homes. We got a lot of very laudable goals. We'd like you to be a part of it. We'd like you to share your feedback. If you want to see us go in another direction, we will certainly give that strong consideration. And if you can't afford to donate, that's okay, but we appreciate you watching these videos. You can always like the videos and share them and comment on them, and we always want you to subscribe and be a part of our community, and the more active role you can play in the community, the better. And as always, we look forward to seeing you next time here on Fantasy Dream Homes, and keep smiling, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.